So when we say check on your strong friends, what is that supposed to mean exactly? Let's talk about it. Shani speaks now. Ooh, yeah. Shani speaks now. Ooh, Shani speaks now. It's Shani on Shani Speaks Now. What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Shani here, your little big sis, because I may be small in stature, but I am big on the sisterly love. And welcome to this week's edition of Always Keep the Faith Fridays, where your girl does her best. I try as much as I can to give you a motivational gem going from your Friday and your work week, which hopefully hasn't been too crazy for you, into your weekend. I'm so glad that you all are here. I am so excited to see you all, not really see you all, but you all see me, you know what I mean, okay? I feel like I'm looking at you all. As I look into this camera, that is what I mean. I'm seeing you somehow. Okay, I'm gonna let that go because clearly it's not gonna land. But it's so good to be back here this week for another Friday, another weekend, and just having another day, year, month of life. But if you all have been here for the first time or have come to my channel for the first time, welcome. Hopefully I don't scare you away with my antics. Hopefully you will subscribe and you'll hit the notification button and become a part of the Faith Fam. And to my Faith Fam, my faithfuls, thank you all so much for continuing to watch, continuing to follow me on social media, continuing just to connect with me. I care about you all and I appreciate you all very much. Now remember, this year, a new initiative. If you aren't able to actually watch on YouTube, you can actually go ahead and subscribe to my podcast, the Shani Speaks Now podcast, or Shani Speaks Now, the podcast is actually what it's called. So now, I teased this obviously at the beginning, but I've heard a lot, especially over the last couple years, and I almost feel like it became more of a thing during COVID, but the whole idea or concept of check on your strong friends. You know, people have always said, well, check on your strong friends, check on your strong friends, but what does that mean? And who is considered a strong friend? Now, I have been told that I am very strong, and I've been told that I am a strong friend, and I think that I have an idea or concept of what that is, but we have seen as of late that sometimes being the strong friend doesn't necessarily always serve someone, and sometimes being the strong friend doesn't allow that strong friend to have weak moments. So you know what? We're gonna talk about that a little bit. So last year, we lost two extremely, extremely beautiful and talented people. In January of 2022, Cheslie Kryst, who was a Miss USA 2019 and who was an attorney and who was on Extra, just extremely beautiful, just exuded so much beauty and joy. And also, more recently, Steven Twitch Boss, who was a dancer, he was a DJ on the Ellen Show, just also so full of joy, we lost in December of 2022. And those were extremely hard losses because Cheslie was only 30 years old and Twitch was only 40 years old. So one person who could be a little sister and someone who's literally my same age. And I'm not gonna lie, both of their deaths truly, truly saddened me. But what was so crazy about both of them is they were considered very strong friends. Everyone that talked about them talked about just how exuberant they were and how they shed so much light, and they were always there for you no matter what. They were always that shoulder for people to cry on, or that person for someone to talk to, or able to just kind of be there whenever people needed them. And it really, really had me thinking about how we consider what is considered a strong friend and how we need to look at those people in our lives who seem to just not just have it all together, but seem to always be the ones that are there holding us down in major ways. Before I move on talking about strong friends, I have to kind of dig a little bit deeper into both Cheslie and Steven. Now, I never got a chance to meet them in person, but I was definitely impacted by them. Where Cheslie is concerned, now, for those of you who don't know, I am a pageant girl. Have done pageants since I was a little girl, love them, and even do pageant coaching as an adult, and was always just enamored by the world of pageants. I just think it's something that in many ways helps some young women develop if it's used the positive way that it's supposed to. So in 2019, when she became Miss USA, that was such an explosive and amazing year because Black women took every title that year. Miss America, Miss USA, Miss World. There's one I'm missing right now that is not off the top of my mind, but you know, okay? They took all of them by storm. Miss Universe, there we go. I know it's gonna come to me. And I remember her just being a part of that. And even Miss Teen USA, it was just such an amazing, explosive year. And I think because of that, I remember seeing her more than I probably would have seen any of the other queens any other year. It was just such an amazing thing. And of course, from there, she had opportunities to be on Extra where she lended her talents. She just had this natural knack, and she was actually an attorney. So girl was smart and just beautiful and talented on all levels. And it seemed like there was just nothing that she could not do. And people who had the opportunity to know her and work with her, who were friends with her, seemed to say the same things. She seemed to just be the person, that it girl that everyone wanted. And then as far as Steven, I remember watching Twitch on So You Can Think You Can Dance. My sister, who is an amazing dancer and choreographer, I mean, I dance as well, but she's like the dancer choreographer. But we've always grown up just loving dance, loving entertainment in general, but definitely loving dance. And I remember seeing Steven originally on his season, not realizing that he had auditioned 3 times prior to actually making it on the season. And he was just different. Like, he just had this like Black boy joy, as they call it, from jump. But there was just this warmth that always exuded from him. And anytime that I saw him either dancing or being the choreographer or working with people or talking to people or in interviews, he just kind of exuded this light. And then of course he got the opportunity to be on the Ellen show. Then he ended up being the DJ for the Ellen show, and that kind of just blew him up even more. And then of course had an opportunity to work with and do amazing fun things with his wife. But again, both of their deaths impact me. I think at the time that Cheslie passed away, I was just coming out of surgery at that time. And I remember I wasn't on social media, so I didn't get a chance to kind of vocalize how, much that kind of affected me. But it was just hard seeing someone so young and so beautiful just be so overwhelmed with life. And same thing right before the holidays, with Twitch, just wondering like, man, what is going on? But one of the things that I've heard and that I continue to hear on a consistent basis about both of them were that they were the strong friend. They were the person that everyone leaned on, the person that everyone looked to, the person that was the light for so many people. And it really had me thinking about the whole concept of checking on your strong friend, but also just the weight and the responsibility that can be on someone that is considered a strong friend. So what is a strong friend, and what does that even look like? Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm talking about the concept of being a strong friend, that's a bad thing. I think that everyone needs to have someone in their corner that they can depend on. But I think sometimes what can get misconstrued is that person possibly not feeling, whether it's actual feelings or them just not realizing it, that they also need a strong friend, or they need someone that they can also lean on in the times where they have moments. Now, I have been called a strong friend by my friends, and I actually, to a certain extent, take pride in that. I love to be able to be there for the people that I love. I love being able to support them, whether it be physically, whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally. I like to be able to hold my friends down throughout the different things that go on in their lives. However, I will tell you one thing. Surgery and just, all that I experienced over the last couple of years have taught me that I can't always be the strong friend, that I have to allow myself to have those weak moments. And in that case, I've had other people who have been able to step up and be strong friends for me, which is the ultimate blessing. But when I was trying to think of like what makes up a strong friend, and this is not something that I looked up, but I was just kind of thinking of some of the things that I heard said about both Cheslie and Steven, but also some of the things I've heard said about me, and also some of the things that I admire in some people. And these are just some of the things. I literally just thought of 5, because I'm sure I could go on and on, that I thought of when I thought of like, what is a strong friend? 1, always holding others up. Someone who's a strong friend seems to just be that person who can just work a room if there's a lot of grief, who can just kind of be that sound voice, or that sound voice of reason when people need it, but they're able to always hold other people up. 2, being there for everyone. They seem to be the person that everyone says, oh my gosh, they were there for me during that hard time of my life, or oh my gosh, they held me down when I needed help with something, or oh my gosh, they just always seem to hold me up when I need it. So yeah, they're there for everyone, or at least so it seems. 3, and this one is very vital. seeming very selfless and helpful. Many times a strong friend seems to be someone who can kind of put themselves away for a moment or take care of everyone else's needs and make sure everybody else is good first. And sometimes that is very necessary and a good thing, but we have to recognize when those moments where it may not be so good. 4, generally bounce back quickly from challenging times. Now I have to say this is something that I believe has had a lot of people more recently calling me strong because they saw some of the challenging times that I went through over the last year or so, and that I, in general, have been able to quote unquote bounce back. But I will be very, very clear. My bounce back is all because of my relationship with the Lord, okay? Of my own strength, I know for certain that I wouldn't be able to do that. And yes, I know I have great personality traits and character traits that probably help, but I know for me, that's where my strength comes from. And 5, have an optimistic disposition in life. Many times those people who are strong friends see the glass half full. They can see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They can see any situation being turned into something good. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I am guilty of that. I am misoptimistic because I feel like if you don't have optimism, then many times you don't have hope. However, you also have to make sure that you balance that optimism with a little bit of realism, realizing that yes, there are times where a situation can be very, very hard and very, very sticky. And even though in the end it may turn out all right, it can still be rough. But being a strong friend and having strong friends really is a beautiful thing. But one of the things that I want us to consider is, 1, not just being a strong friend, but making sure that you have strong friends that can hold you down. But even more so, not just checking in on your strong friend, just check in on the people that you love. That's what's important. Check in on everybody as much as you can. It's important for people to know that you're there for them. And it's important for people to understand that you have their back in the good times, the bad times. So don't just check on them when things seem to be going well. If you haven't heard from someone that you love in a while, send them a text, give them a phone call, drop by for a visit, call first. But be sure that you check on the people that you love in general, because you never know when they may need you most. So what's this week's faith fact? Being the strong friend doesn't mean you won't have weak moments. So allow others to be there for you too. Listen, if there is one thing that I learned, especially last year, it is that I have an amazing network of wonderful friends that are all strong in their own ways. And I think instead of having one person that is the strong friend or considering being the strong friend, I think that everyone has strong aspects about them, and that when it's needed, it will present itself. But I think that we also have to be cognizant of the fact that we are not Superman or Superwoman, regardless of what we think or how we feel. And that yes, while we will have hopefully more strong moments than weak moments, that we have to allow others to hold us up when we can't hold ourselves up. We have to share when we're having moments of sadness. We have to share when we're having moments of weakness. We have to allow others to be able to love on us and be there for us and truly show that they are the friends or family that they say they are to us. Because ultimately, it can get a bit overwhelming if we try to be there for everyone else, but don't allow others to be there for us. But more than anything, let's just love on our people more and better this year. All right, we have the whole year ahead of us, and I know we have a lot that we want to get done and get accomplished, but remember, ultimately, everything that we want to get accomplished, God's willing, we have a lifetime to be able to do it. All right, guys, that is it for this episode for this week. I hope that you all enjoyed that one and really got something out of it. I hope that you will subscribe and that you will get the notifications and that you will join the Faith Fam. And be sure that you connect with me on all things social media at Cheslie Speaks Now. And if you aren't able to actually watch me on YouTube, be sure that you listen on all places that you can listen to podcasts with Cheslie Speaks Now, the podcast. I was about to say the Cheslie Speaks Now show. That's coming. I mean, technically this is it, but like, on a bigger screen. Anywho, I digress, but I also am, kind of prophesying a little bit on myself. Anywho, I'm done. I hope that you all have a great, great, great weekend ahead. And you all know how we end every episode with the motto, always keep the faith and let the Lord fight your battles. Until next time, I love y'all. Take care. Peace. If you or someone you know is in need of help, please know help is available to you. Dial 988 or contact the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Thanks for watching, Faith Fam. Be sure to subscribe, share, and like this episode, and I'll see you back on my channel soon.